In 2023, I could have given you many reasons why investing in an Omega Seamaster instead of a Rolex Submariner would have been wiser, but it's not 2022 anymore. It's the present. Let's quickly review and remind ourselves why the Omega Seamaster was a better choice than the Rolex Submariner in 2022. Choosing between them wasn't easy when considering their specifications. Both watches can dive up to 300 meters thanks to their sturdy steel cases, 42mm for the Omega, 41mm for the Rolex. They're both crafted to exceptional standards by leading Swiss watchmakers and have a robust appearance that suggests they could withstand some serious impact. For decades, they've been competing fiercely, striving to explore the deepest parts of the ocean. Even today, their top dive watches, the Ultra Deep and Deep Sea Challenge, are challenging each other's limits 7 miles below the surface. It's surprising to think that Rolex was once the underdog, challenging the dominant Omega. The tables turned drastically, leaving Omega lagging behind, with Rolex now outpacing it by a ratio of 4-1. It's really close between these two. Omega's Caliber 8800 comes with features like the coaxial escapement, a mechanism known for low friction invented by a top mind in watchmaking. It's also anti-magnetic, and you can see it through the back, so you're not just taking Omega's word on its quality like you do with Rolex. You can't see Rolex's Caliber 3235, but you can measure its accuracy of 2 seconds per day and its 70-hour power reserve, which beats Omega's 5 seconds and 55-hour reserve. It likely looks as nice as Omega's Caliber 2, although with a solid case back, it's a mystery what it looks like. It's harder to choose between these two than to split an atom, which is why making a decision might require some tricky tactics. This might be one of those cases where Omega's underhanded move is met with a response of, well, Rolex started it, and in the end, they're both equally bad. You could think the Rolex is the best thing ever, but if you try to buy one, you're in for some trouble. Finding a Submariner is like finding a needle in a haystack during a special needle event on the Isle of Wight. As far as you're concerned, the Submariner is gone forever. Even if you manage to find one, you're faced with a big dilemma. Is it worth it? The basic Submariner without a date now costs a hefty £7,700. If you want a date, that goes up to £8,650. Opt for a green bezel, and you're looking at £9,100. In contrast, the Seamaster will set you back just £4,800 for a rubber strap, or £5,100 for a steel bracelet. Even the green Seamaster, which is quite hard to find, won't cost you more than the black one, unlike Rolex, whose limited color options reflect a Henry Ford-like attitude. The Seamaster used to be even cheaper, just like the Submariner. The gap between them is as wide as ever, with only a long line of people waiting for a Rolex to bridge it. A lot has changed since we last discussed this. The landscape is different now, and that might change how we see things. Let's take a look. Until very recently, this particular Seamaster was priced starting with a top-tier price, even if it was just for the rubber strap. Despite not matching the hefty price tag of Rolex, it offered remarkable value. Omega's move was clearly aimed at competing with Rolex, but it couldn't last forever at that price point. Still, at that price, its main competitor was the Tudor by Rolex. Who would want a watch named after a notorious figure like Henry VIII when they could buy an actual Omega instead? It must be tough for Omega to be seen as the second best option in the dive watch game, but selling watches is still selling watches, even if they're for customers disappointed after leaving the Rolex store empty-handed. Now, at today's price of £5,100, it's a bit harder to justify spiteful spending on a revenge purchase. But considering it's half the price, that's pretty remarkable. When you really think about it, is Rolex really worth that much more? In terms of the actual product, probably not. That's why we're giving the nod to Omega as the better watch purchase. You'd really have to be a die-hard Rolex fan to justify the price difference, and there are plenty of those out there. The only thing stopping them has been the sheer difficulty of actually getting their hands on a Submariner. If the laws of physics allowed for an abundance of Submariners, Rolex would still find a way to make them elusive. In 2024, aside from inflation, significant changes have occurred, particularly in the luxury watch market. influenced by the dramatic fluctuations in Bitcoin prices. The once astronomical heights reached by Bitcoin have taken a toll on Rolex, impacting its resale value. The gap between the recommended retail price or RRP and resale price of the Submariner has narrowed, making it more appealing to potential buyers. The previous generation Submariner, with its subtle differences from the new generation, is now available at a comparable price to the highly coveted green bezel Submariner LV. This price proximity has sparked renewed interest among buyers who were previously deterred by the inflated prices of Rolex watches. But does this mean the Omega Seamaster is still the superior choice in 2024 compared to the Rolex Submariner? Considering it remains substantially more affordable while offering similar specifications, the answer is a resounding yes. Furthermore, the investment potential of acquiring a Submariner at RRP has diminished, making it less attractive for those seeking financial gains. This shift in dynamics has leveled the playing field, making the once elusive Rolex more attainable without the need to sacrifice vital organs. The allure of the Rolex Submariner, which was once as rare as a unicorn's 90s house mixtape, has diminished, making it a more feasible option for watch enthusiasts. No longer do buyers need to resort to extreme measures to afford one. For those patiently waiting, now could be the opportune moment to make their dream of owning a Rolex a reality. Both Omega and Rolex offer exceptional timepieces with their own unique features and qualities. The Omega Seamaster has historically been considered a sensible choice due to its lower price point compared to Rolex, while still offering comparable specifications and quality. However, with the narrowing gap between the resale prices of Rolex Submariners and the availability of previous generation models at more reasonable prices, Rolex may regain favor among some buyers. Rolex's reputation for quality, craftsmanship, and status may also sway some individuals towards choosing a Rolex timepiece. Ultimately, the choice between Omega and Rolex depends on individual preferences, budget, and desired features. Some may prefer the prestige and heritage associated with Rolex, while others may appreciate the value proposition offered by Omega. Feel free to share your thoughts and preferences in the comment section. And don't forget to like and comment on this video, and subscribe to Ventichic's channel for more updates. See you in the next video.